Guys, welcome to our fourth meetup. One of the things that we try to do is we try to get these things started on time, just because we want to try and get you out of here by 9 o'clock. Last meetup, we sort of didn't do that. I think we got you out of here at 9:05. So tonight we want to get you out of here hopefully by 8:45 so that you guys can come and network. Probably the most important thing you're here for is to network, not to hear me talk or Sam or Ed. So we're going to try and get you out of here pretty quick. Here's a Clear Sky Education Deals meetup. I want to show a hands of who are my money providers. Everybody raise your hand if you got a green sticker.
My money.
All right. So we have Washington Capital Partners here. They're the biggest hard money lender in the area. We're probably one of the bigger direct hard money lenders. We don't have a broker model. So Washington Cap's here. I've got some brokers around here who do gap funding. The gap funding guys raise their hands. I know I saw a couple of you gap funders raise their hands. If you're just a normal loan officer, mortgage broker, raise your hand. I know Ben's here, you are too. So as you guys can see, the money's in the room, all right? If you're a contractor, raise your hand. Look around the room for the contractors. Okay, so we got the contractors in the room too. They can repair your rentals or repair your fix and flips. Real estate agents, raise your hand. Oh wow, we got a lot of those. So these are investor-friendly agents. Let's see, buy and hold guys, raise your hands. Okay. Commercial investors raise their hands. When I say commercial, I mean maybe trailer parks, industrial properties, apartment buildings, multifamily, raise your hands. I know I had a couple of you guys in the room. Don't be shy now. Come on, raise that hand. You. So you guys want to talk to each other. We don't really have any multifamily deals today per se, or syndications, but keep your ears abreast. Who am I missing, Sam? Title companies, raise their hand. Title company, Andrea's back there. Here, Passport Title. Titan Title's here. Anybody else? Title companies are here. Clear Sky Education students, raise your hand. A lot of you guys. Guys, talk to the students. See if they like us or not. See if they're doing deals. I got some proof in the pudding here in a second. Okay, so what is missing? We got everything here, right? What's missing? Deals, right? What'd you say? Stager. Oh, stagers raise their hand. Holy crap. Oh, yeah. We got stagers. And we're going to talk about staging in a second when we do our panel, not our panel discussion, but we're going to put somebody in the hot seat and actually talk about a real live deal that they did. Wholesalers, raise your hand. I know JD's a wholesaler. Look around the room, guys. This is your bread and butter. Whoever has a pink sticker, I call them the pinkies, make sure you talk to them because that's who's going to be facilitating and getting you guys some wholesale deals. We have a lot of smaller wholesalers here. We don't have the bigger guys here like New Western, Market Pro Homes, Express Home Buyers, Four Brothers. We do that kind of intentionally. So these guys should rule the roost because we're here to find deals. So the only thing that's not here that we're going to present are deals. And that's hopefully why you guys are here. All right? The thing that I like about this meetup is that I get to with these guys, I get to control the agenda. I get to set the agenda, right? And so you guys that have never been here before, raise your hands if you're first timers. Wow, that's pretty good, right? How about second timers? 3? Oh, that's great. And then how about 4? So we've got a lot of 4s.
You get a pin at 5?
Yeah, at 5 we give you, like you ever seen Saturday Night Live, where you have the fifth jacket? We're gonna start giving you guys 5 jackets or something. So maybe we'll do that. But what I love about this meetup is that I can't tell you how many meetups I've either been to or we have sponsored or blah, 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 right? And honestly, there's only one meetup that I ever liked. And it was Andre Johnson's Deals meetup in Oxon Hill before COVID. Okay. Yeah, remember that? And so I loved his meetup because his meetup was nothing but deals. And not one has showed up since then. And so I was always trying to emulate Andre's meetup. The only difference that I wanted to do is I didn't want to have any Baltimore deals. Yeah, so you can laugh. That's funny. I don't mind Baltimore, and I don't mind Baltimore deals. But if you have a row home that's selling for $80,000, and you might get $200,000 for it, but other assets in the area are selling for under $100,000, That's probably not a good deal. You're going to get your contractors in trouble. Okay, so be careful. So I get to set the agenda. And so this month, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to have our deal updates from last month. We're going to have spotlight and success stories. So we're actually going to have somebody in a hot seat come up here. He knows who he is. And then we'll talk about other success stories that you guys have had in last month and now. We have a huge success story up here that we're going to cover here in a second too. We'll have a topic presentation, Atlantic Coast Mortgage. This is the first time that we've done that, where I haven't done a topic presentation. So if you guys want to do some sort of 5 or 10 minute presentation in the meetups coming up, let us know. As a person coming to this meetup, if there's a certain topic or presentation that you want us to present, we'll do it. We're only going to keep the 10, 15 minutes to get to the deals part, but we're going to do that. So tonight, we're going to do a DSCR presentation from Ben, Atlantic Coast Mortgage. And then later on, our 5th deal, Connor's going to actually do an actual live DSCR deal that's going on right now, so that you guys will get a flavor of DSCR lending. DSCR stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio Lending. It's for buy and hold investors when you have a rental property. Keith, raise your hand. He might need a loan to Louisiana on a DSCR deal. And then we're also we haven't done this in the past, but we're going to do it tonight just to see how you guys think. We are actually going to have a panel discussion on the turbulence of the market. And we're also going to discuss certain problems in the past that we've weathered the storm. The RTC crisis, 90s, early 2000s. We're going to talk about the dot-com bust, 2000 to 2002. We're going to talk about the subprime crash, and then we're going to talk about what's going on today. Okay, and then how you should prepare yourself for it. So we are going to have a panel discussion. I'm excited about that. I hope these guys are excited, but they don't seem very excited. And then we'll do our deals. We've got a couple development deals. We've got a couple of wholesale fix and flips. And then we had the DSCR presentation back here. Now, Harry Goff, are you here? Oh, Harry's here. I see Horace. Talisa's not here, so I'll present her deal, and then I'll present our deal. Okay, so we have 5 deals tonight. And then we're going to have an ad hoc deal. So if you guys have a deal that you present, that you have, you can come up and do an ad hoc presentation towards the end. We're going to do a little bit differently tonight. We're going to have you guys get in line to do your presentation. The only thing that I ask is that you control the deal. Either you're the owner, or if you're the wholesaler, you're direct to the owner. Those are the only stipulations. I don't want to see a New Western deal that you guys got in your email and you're trying to wholesale. I don't see that. We don't want that. Okay? We're not interested in that. I don't want to see a deal that's active on the MLS that you guys are trying to sell. Everybody's seen it. Okay? So if you're going to do an ad hoc presentation, you got to control your deal, because as I'm going to talk about in the deals presentation, there's only one thing that I do. I vet out the ownership of the deal, and I vet out at the wholesalers directly to the owner. We do not vet out the deals themselves. We are going to have 3 deals tonight that you guys can vote on. So we'll have an interactive, and we're kind of curious to see how that goes. Okay? What is the Deals Meetup? You guys are here. You already know about it. It's a monthly event, guys. It's the second Wednesday of every month. Okay? So keep that in mind. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's not simple for us to put this together because we spent a lot of time doing it. I was on vacation last week, and I came back on Saturday. We drove back all day Saturday, got here on Sunday, and we had to come up with some deals because nobody really had submitted deals. And I'm going to explain to you guys in a second on how you showcase and submit your deal. This isn't working that well, but we're going to get it better at this. So if you guys have a deal to submit, either go to, what is it? Is it Bright Deals Meetup? When people sign up? Eventbrite. We're on Eventbrite. When you go to Eventbrite to sign up, there is a link to submit your deal. Okay? When you submit your deal, we all get the deal itself, and then we'll put together slides and you guys can come up and do your presentation. All right? So it's pretty simple. We did add one thing. Do we change this? So you guys got all your color codes, right? So if you're a fix and flipper, you want to look for the pinks. Pinkies rule the roost, right? If you're a buy and hold, look for the pinkies as well. But also too, contractors, you want to look for everybody. Realtors, you want to look for everybody. I don't know if make sure you're an investor-friendly agent, but if you're not an investor-friendly agent, it doesn't matter. Get into the space. We're all learning. It's not a big deal.
How about if I'm not friendly?
Oh, that's right. We don't have a lawyer badge, do we?
Yeah, no.
That's why you don't have any stickers.
I have no
you guys don't even have any stickers
Nope.
on mine. I don't even have a name tag. So I hope you guys are gonna know them here in a second. So these are all the color codes. We'll get used to them. Sarah does a good job with that. Okay. We wrote a book called The Roadmap to Wealth in Real Estate Investing. And basically what that book is that's our story. And so what we've done is we've created this roadmap to get you into what's called passive residual, not residual income, but passive income. Passive income meaning that you have a rental portfolio. It means that you own commercial assets. It means that you're a hard money lender like we are. It means that you're a tax lien certificate investor. Maybe it means that you're a gap funder, right? You're basically using your money in real estate assets to control your passive income, okay? And that's at the end of our roadmap. But at the very, very beginning, what we do is we teach you financial literacy of real estate investing. What's a cap rate? What's liquidity? How do you get bankable? We teach those kind of things. We teach you the fundamentals of real estate investing so you can sort of figure out what in the heck you want to do in this world, because a lot of you guys might be beginning investors and you have no idea what you're doing. And then once we do that, we have this great course called Finding Distressed Assets. We teach people how to find distressed assets. It's all about the distressed assets. We don't buy anything on market. Everything's distressed, whether it's a pre-foreclosure, whether it's a foreclosure, whether it's REO bank owned, whether it's a list of heirs, which is probate, whether it's driving for dollars, whether it's guardian ad litem deals, where somebody might be incapacitated or a child might be selling a house. So we teach all these different ways to buy distressed assets. That is our claim to fame. We've created $100 million of buying distressed assets. So then what we do is we show you how to buy distressed assets. Then what we do is we either teach you how to fix and flip, we either teach you how to buy and hold, or we teach you how to wholesale. You want to fix and flip or you want to wholesale? Why? To build your capital stack. Once you've built your capital stack, then what do? You present it, you buy cash flow producing assets. You just become an investor. Teresa has a lot of cash flowing deals up front. She's into trailer parks, she's into syndications, she's into RV parks. So she's a good person to talk to about these cash flowing assets. And then we help you find the money. Who's in the sub two? Raise your hands if you're a part of sub two. You're a sub two? You ain't sub two. You own a sub two, but you ain't part of the sub two group. So we teach you how to do subject to. We teach you how to do creative financing. We teach you how to buy houses with hard money loans. We teach you how to buy houses with soft money loans. We're going to go through a presentation today on DSCR lending. So we then teach you how to find the money and buy these properties.
Community banks.
Community banks, soft money. So we teach you all these things. Why do we do this, guys? Because we've done all this ourselves. We control about $100 million in assets. And we've got that just by buying distressed assets. We are teachers. Guys, all we do all day, we do deals all day. That's all we do. So we're teaching with experience. So just because you're a fix and flipper, we're going to teach you how to find it. We're going to teach you how to fix it. We're going to teach you how to flip it. Is it staged? Who's your agent? Are they having open houses? So we teach you all that kind of stuff. All right? Who are we? That's who we are, Clear Sky Properties. We still fix about 1 to 2 houses a month. We have about a 50 property residential portfolio that we manage ourselves. Heather's here. Where are you, Heather? Raise your hand, Heather. You back there? Heather manages all of our properties. The 50 residential rentals and a bunch of our commercial properties. We have a truck yard that she manages, and she does a phenomenal job. Clear Sky Financial is another one of our companies. We have about 40 million on the street right now, but we are a direct asset-based lender. Ask me how many applications I've ever pulled. 0. Ask me how many credit checks I've ever done. 0. It's a straight asset-based loan. If I like the deal, I like the asset, Sam likes the deal, Sam likes the asset, we simply just loan on it. It's that simple. The asset's got to stand up on itself. We're probably the only lender in this area that does that. I think Washington Capital Partners might do some of that, or do you guys? Straight asset-based? Yeah, but you still do an application though, right?
Yeah, but we're doing soft pulls now, so.
All right, so they changed, they're following us, man. You better stop copying us, dude.
You lead the way.
But that's all right. We're all friends. That's another thing too. If you guys have not done Washington Capital Partners right, I'm going to know about it. I'm going to know who the borrower is because we share information. If we've had to foreclose on you, I'm going to tell them. We share information. So the private lending community in this area is very, very tight. We know everybody. What did I miss? Clear Sky Holdings. We got a big one on Clear Sky Holdings. I'll let Ed explain here in a second. Did you review that chart? Mm-hmm. Did you see that chart I got in here? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's coming up. We primarily do what's called tax lien certificate investing. We do it PG County, Montgomery County, and Washington, D.C. Ed is the man. He knows what he's doing. He's the best guy in the area. As you're going to find out, guys, we are what's called market leaders, right? Even though Washington Capital Partners is one of our direct competitors, they've got a little bit more money than we do, but they're probably number one. We're probably either 2 or 3 in the hard money space in this area. From tax lien certificate investing, we are by far the number one. We have fixed and flipped over 450 houses. So I would probably put us market leader, probably. Rental portfolios, we got about 50. We're close. So we're a market leader in all these different real estate investing avenues, right? And we've been doing this for a while. We launched Clear Sky Education. Those are our courses that we have out there online. We have about 35 students. You're going to see some examples of their deals and how much money they've made in the last 2 weeks. That's coming up. That's basically it, right? I think that explains who we are. That's who I am. Charlie, I don't have a name tag. These guys took my name tag from me. I don't know why. I've been in this space for a long time. Most of you guys probably know me because I show up to various meetups. NAHREP, we sponsored Kelly's organization for a long time in DC and Virginia. We sponsor Traction, we sponsor Grid. We have our own deals meetup. What else do we sponsor? I don't know. We sponsor a lot of stuff. I'm on the advisory board of Freedom Maker Virginia, regularriches.com. I published 2 other 7 modules. Let's see, expert witness. We've co-owned a title company, and I own all these companies with myself, Sam, and Ed. That's who I am. Sam, Ed, you're next.
I'm a lawyer.
He's the best lawyer.
Charlie's favorite thing is I'm a lawyer, but not your lawyer. And but one of the nice things about the education is you are allowed to teach as a lawyer and teach some of the legal principles. I was originally a contract litigator, insurance litigator, and real estate is interesting. There's a lot of different laws and regulations out there. And so we teach about working with lawyers and understanding at least some of the issues to watch out for.
Well, yeah, he's not telling you the whole story, though. But that's another added benefit to a lot of our students is that a lot of these guys are actually asking him a lot of legal questions on various deals that they got going and various scenarios. How to get a tenant evicted in Washington, D.C.
At what hourly rate?
What'd you say?
At what hourly rate?
Can you tell because I didn't talk a lot? There's no hourly rate involved. Otherwise, I'd take the whole hour. Well, it's a fair question that I talk about here. I don't represent anybody other than Clear Sky. What I do in the educational space and talk with the students about is how they can understand some of the issues that they're going to run into. Some things you can understand yourself. I was just talking earlier tonight to a wholesaler, and Maryland has a whole cavalcade of laws that are implicated by wholesaling. And just about everybody I've seen is completely misunderstands how it works. But I've shown our students where to go and where to look, where to read some of the concepts to actually provide advice as somebody's attorney. I don't do that, but certainly can help people when they hire attorneys, as they often need to, how you manage an attorney, how you avoid $500 an hour lawyer suddenly going from $2,000 to $75,000. Those are the things that can be very valuable.
Also, the new wholesaling law in Virginia.
Right. But I don't believe that's passed yet, has it?
So I thought.
It did pass. I'll have to look. So, but it shows you there's so much out there. Unless it becomes an issue, we have to look at it.
Okay, Sam?
So I don't see expert witness on mine, but in the context of legal, I've been trained as an expert witness in the court.
You're an expert,
So-
what we call a professional litigant.
Yeah, there you go.
Sam.
So 25 years of real estate investing, almost all of it with Charlie and Ed, real estate broker, and for at least 20 years, and been agent since the 80s. So we own these companies together. We've developed a car wash. I've worked a lot on the development side with the legal team, with people finding assets, putting the whole businesses together in the background, sort of processes that you don't see when you just say, "Oh, I own a bunch of assets." Someone has to wrangle all the accountants together and get it all done. So that's the area I've been focused on.
All right. This is a little blurb about our education program. We've got 6 online courses, as I talked earlier. Our claim to fame is how to find distressed assets. That's where it's all about. And I'm going to show you guys some examples of what our students have done in the past only 2 weeks, what they've got under contract and closed. And here it is, actually. And so in the last 2 weeks, and actually I was on vacation for one of those weeks, one of our students has purchased a house. She's under contract. Matter of fact, we got under contract yesterday at a Starbucks. I was with her and the agent, Ola. Purchase price is 140. The ARV is between 375 and 400. It's a 3-level townhouse in Birchdale and Dale City. It needs about $100,000 in work. So she's going to make a lot of money.
That's a great deal.
That's a pre-foreclosure. And I'll give you the addresses when you guys want them once it's in public record. She's under contract right now. Another one of our students recently bought a property from a wholesaler in 22308 in Alexandria, 725 purchase, and the out price is 1.15 million. The house needs about 100,000 renovation. So you can do the math. She's going to make a couple $100,000. And then we have another student who just recently is under contract in a deal. He's under contract about 405, 425, whatever the number is. Yeah, the ARB is 825, and he got that driving for dollars, and it was an estate deal. He put that under contract a couple days ago. So our students are making money. All right, they're making a lot of damn money. They're making more money than we are. That's not true. And now the big win of the meetup. One of the things that Ed does. Here you go, Ed. You can look at the slide for the first time.
Huh? I'm looking up the Virginia wholesaling law. Yes, tax lien investing. I think there's a lot of information and interest out there. This is the one I remember being about, 7 years old and late night 70s and 80s television about making big money in real estate. And this is a lot what they were talking about. But it's a good both passive and active investment. We've just been so busy. We're going to put together a course as part of our education, and I've done some ad hoc teaching about it. How to say it quickly. But essentially, a lot of jurisdictions will sell tax liens, and you get a very nice interest return in the event that the people do not pay off the tax.
18% in DC, right?
18%, although...
What's PG County, 19.5%?
21.
21% in PG County.
Right. Now, there are auctions which can reduce that value. But at the end of the day, if the person doesn't pay off the taxes anywhere from 6 months to a year in Maryland to a year to 900 years in D.C., you'll get the property. And that could be a very nice result as well. So
We got 18 of them.
we
just got about 18.
Virginia's tax deeds, you don't do Virginia.
No, we just do it Maryland, DC.
right.
We're Maryland, DC.
Right.
And so-
Virginia's more, they just auction off the property, essentially.
Actually, off the courthouse. Yep.
Yep.
Or a government building. And so Prince William County just had a tax auction on the properties about 2 or 3 months ago at one of their government buildings. Yeah. But the news of the day, though, guys, for us, is that we're in the process of redeeming 18 properties. DC just let us know we're getting 18 blighted properties. And you guys, raise your hand if you were here last month. You guys remember a property on Buena Vista that was presented here? You went there. That's a property we own from a tax lien certificate investment. We filed a quiet title lawsuit. Year and a half went by. Judge granted us order to title the property. We brought the other taxes current. DC gave us the deed. That's how we got it. We got 18 of those. All right. Another announcement I need to make. We're coming out. How many of you guys heard Basement Tales? Raise your hand if you know the podcast Basement Tales. Oh, that's good. Okay. So we're out with a new podcast that we're revamping. It's called Real Estate Riches Roadmap. Our first we got 4 episodes recorded. They'll be released once a week. So for you, I know you're going to like that. So we've launched our podcast, and so we've got a little bit of a different format than we used to do it. We're going to interview students. We're going to interview investors. Plus, we'll do topic discussions. But we'll do 4 or 5 at a time and then release them once a week because we had a little time crunch. That's why Basement Tales kind of got off the track a little bit. Let's see, deal updates. Okay. One of the investors is here. 210 Jackson Avenue, New Market. That was a deal that was presented last month. It was a fix and flip deal. She decided to fix and flip it with another student. They're doing a JV deal together, and they are sitting together right there.
They're still friends. Excellent.
And they're still friends. So they're actually, so instead of TN wholesaling like she was going to do, Richard, TN are now JVing it right now. So that's going pretty good, right? Okay. Deal in Linden that I think Chris presented last month. That was a development deal. That one's still available. You can get it. It's at 145. My guess will probably take a lower price if you guys are interested. But that's a new house in Linden, Virginia. The deal on, remember the boat in the RV park that the guy was trying to sell a syndication for? $50,000 increments. That is still available if you're interested in that. Ken Roberts' his name. Give me a call if you're interested in doing something like that. The subdivision community development deal that Anthony McDuffie presented is still available. He's taking the same kind of thing, $50,000, $100,000 tranches. That's still available. Buena Vista, Sam Jackman, hopefully call that number, 703-587-2475. We're just going to keep it. We're gonna max it out. We've got Mauricio and Giovanni. Who we got in there? Mauricio?
Yeah.
Somebody's in there right now renovating it, so we're just going to keep it and sell that thing. Bel Air Road, I'm not sure what the deal is on that Baltimore deal. Michelle Van Allen, if you're interested in Baltimore, 202-642-9116, give her a call. She's got another deal in Baltimore. She wholesales Baltimore if you guys are interested in that. And then the last one, 105 Kyle Court. That was a buy and hold. Teresa's in the room. You're going to keep that, right?
Yeah, I need the property. I went have foundation issue, so I'll just.
Yeah, she was going to do a 1031 exchange.
Or
Actually,
if you wanna make me a deal.
huh?
Or if you want to make me a deal.
It's still out there. So Teresa's here if you guys are interested. She was going to do a 1031 exchange. We also have a 1031, raise your hand. We have a 1031 exchange agent here as well. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Great, looks like a great showing.
Yeah, good
I'm
showing.
new at the 10th. I've only been doing it for 21 years.
He's new. He's new. He's new. He's a little bit newer than we are.
Charlie, on this one, what did you say? There's foundation?
No, the one she was going to buy.
So I was going to know which property to buy, and I was going to 1031 exchange, but that is the rental I had. It's an England one in Leverage All Stafford, and then it has long-term tenants whose husband has a security clearance, so they gave me room.
How much to rent?
The rent is, geez, I want to say 2,100.
2100.
It's supposed to be renewed this summer.
Yeah, and so if you guys aren't really know what a 1031 exchange is, it's a tax deferred exchange.
Right, so like I would sell that to buy something else.
Equal value or more.
But I may buy
For the gain.
larger, so I may sell some British. I have about 7.
Still are thinking about selling as the for buy the whole
Yeah.
kids staying.
They can if they want.
I would keep them. They're good. They got security clearance.
My leases are month to month.
But they got a security clearance all
I
day.
didn't go anywhere. It's not like he's going to get evicted.
All right.
He has security clearance.
Good, right? All right. Spotlight success stories. Before I bring Giovanni up here, does anybody other than us, does anybody have any success stories from last month you guys want to talk about? Over there. Katie?
So we went into a new market last month and we were able to do 41K in fees. So in just that market alone, so I think that was a success for March.
What market?
Baltimore County and Baltimore City.
All right. So Baltimore County, Baltimore City investors. Go see JD. Congrats. That's good stuff. Yeah, he's a wholesaler. Show him, JD, with your big self.
Oh, yeah.
Your big muscles.
Yeah.
Problem is he's got big muscles. It's kind of covering over his name tag.
Yeah, I'm in 6 markets. I'm in D.C., Maryland, Virginia,
Yeah.
North Carolina, Texas, and Florida. I think that's 6 is my math correct. So we're trying to expand. So we do a lot of volume, but that's just one of the markets we decided to hop in because D.C. was like, acting funny for the last couple of months. So we just pivoted to a different market.
Right. And so one of the big reasons why you guys come here, I know you come here to see me, but really the most important reason is to get into this networking, right? And so, like I said, the guys with the Pinks, the JDs of the world, whoever's doing one-off wholesalings, you guys are the king of the roost because all you guys are looking for deals, right? We're looking for fix and flip deals. We have everything else in here except the deals. So you guys want to get the one-off wholesalers. You don't want to deal with the Market Pro Homes. You don't want to deal with the Express Home Buyers, Four Brothers, New Westerns, because they overinflate the ARV. They underestimate the renovation. By the time you do the numbers, the deals are very marginal. So if you can talk to a wholesaler that doesn't have a 10,000 person list to mail to, that's how you get your deals, guys. Live networking, it works. All right, JD, that's good. Anybody else with a success story before I put my friend on the hot seat? Yep, here he is. Giovanni, come on up.
Yeah.
Here is the Giovanni. He's the boss. All right. So what Giovanni is, and that's funny because the deal that we're going to talk about is a fix and flip that Giovanni did in Baltimore County. So for us, we love Baltimore County. I love everything in Maryland. It's just that the problem is, guys, if you're going to invest in Baltimore City, you better know it street by street. You really got to know it street by street because you're going to get hurt.
I'm moving there at the end of the month so that I can learn it street by street.
I hope you're not moving close to Route 40, 10 block by 10 block, brother.
Actually, Pikesville.
That's good, fine. All right, so let's talk about this deal. So we kind of got it on a chart. I'm going to show you pictures here in a second. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, square footage, single family, Baltimore County subdivision, Timberscape. So what we're going to talk to Giovanni about is the 4S, right? How he found it, how he funded it, how he flipped it, and then, how he fixed it and how he flipped it. He's got a couple of really good stories. So you want to get going?
Yes, sir. So, hello, everyone. My name is Giovanni Ramirez. I'm a general contractor, Class A, here in the Virginia DMV area.
Leo?
Giovanni. But
Not Leo.
Leo's my middle name.
Oh, okay.
So now you know my middle name, too.
Leo.
So my family calls me Leo.
Leo.
Professional, they call me Giovanni.
All right. Giovanni.
So with this property right here, I got it at a short sale.
All right, what is that?
Short sale is really not a short sale, it's a long sale. It takes forever to get it closed. So that was the first learning experience right there. And it took forever to close because they would say, oh, we're going to close in 3 weeks. Oh, we're going to close in a month. Oh, we're going to close in 2 months. Next thing you know, it took like 6 months.
Okay, let me explain. A short sale is where the bank is owed more than what the property is worth and what the property is selling for. So I got a good lead from a good friend of mine that said, I got this great short sale in Baltimore County. Do you guys want to buy it? You got to close next week because the third-party approval letter is about ready to expire. But what she didn't tell me was the third-party approval letter already expired. So we brought it up in our community. Giovanni wanted to buy it. So I got him in contact with the short sale specialist, and he put it under contract. Well, he thought we were going to close it in a couple of weeks, but it took a little bit longer to close. But that's what a short sale is. And the reason why that's important is because what the economy, the way it's running, especially in DC and some parts of Maryland, there's going to be more and more short sales. So short sales are a good way to find fix and flips as well as off-market deals. Okay, so that's how you found it. Your purchase price was, is that right, $290?
Yeah, it was $290 after everything was done, and then renovation cost was $75K. It was more of like a little cosmetic job. Did trim, windows, paint, deck, garage doors. Before I did that, I had a little funny story because I gave the owner until a week to move out because apparently he didn't get the memo that he sold the house to me. So he was living there, and I told the agent to let him know, or the broker to let him know that he has a week to move out and to get everything out. So Friday came along. Actually, I had some workers working there, and then my workers were like, "We can't."
Well, they were working on the exterior, right?
Yeah, exterior.
And did you hire a grass law firm to do this?
No. So I don't recommend this to nobody because, apparently you could get in trouble. So with that being said, I showed up there Friday morning, and he was cooking his nice little, bacon, eggs, orange juice, listening to the news in the morning. So I felt bad because dang, he was in his drawers. So I was like, you know what? Eat your breakfast, take your time. I'll be outside making some calls, and then we need to speak. And then after he did all that, I was like, look, you need to get out because now it's just become a hazard. And it's not allowed with my insurance, and I could get in a lot of trouble. And he was like, I got nowhere to go. I was like, you have a son, you have a daughter? He was like, I have a son. I was like, okay, give me that number. And then son didn't pick up. I was like, you have his address? Like, yeah. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call you an Uber, get whatever you want. Tell me what you want. I was like, what you want to save? I'm gonna have my guys put it in the garage for you. And he took 2 duffel bags worth of stuff, and I bought him an Uber and bought him some lunch and told him he had a great day.
We don't We don't recommend that. Our illustrious,
with it.
our illustrious attorney doesn't recommend it. But that was very fortunate, and it worked, right? It worked. For you?
It was, yeah.
Seamless.
For some reason, yeah, seamless. Some reason,
Well-
I didn't understand the fact that he sold the house to me.
Well, to your defense or non-defense, short sales are voluntary sales, and everybody selling their house knows that there has to be a possession date. And 9 times out of 10, the possession date is the day you close. And so this guy had been in short sale for 9 months or longer. He knew he had to move. And so also too on a short sale, the bank that is getting shorted gives usually a $3,000 to $5,000 relocation to the owner. And so this particular owner, to Giovanni's defense, we got mice back there. So to Giovanni's defense, it is a voluntary sale. He did know he had to vacate the property. Luckily for Giovanni, he had a family member close by, and he just called an Uber. Did you pay for the Uber?
Yeah, I did.
All
So, yep.
right.
Cash for
Generous.
keys, kind of.
Yeah, kind of cash for keys. That's what my lower says. Cars for keys. All right. So then you bought it. You got a good deal on the short sale. The ARV, I thought the ARV was about $475. We thought. How did you fund it?
How did I fund it? I used you guys' help,
Okay.
CARES card, and then I used my money to make a down payment. And yep.
Did we? I don't even remember. It was a $350,000 loan to cost. How much of a loan did we give you?
75,000.
Huh?
350 in total.
Oh, so we gave you 100% loan on that.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So we gave LTC of 100%. The reason why we did that is because we'll do that sometimes. If I like the room in the deal, so in this case, it was a 350 all in into a 475. We had about $125,000 of room to play with as a lender. I felt pretty safe, but also too, Giovanni's a student, so we didn't have any problem lending out a 100% loan to cost. So he had to pay a little bit of closing costs, and then it really burned his pocket. We had to pay the Uber. I mean, that was that was tough. All right. So okay, so that was good. So then
What are your normal ratios for funding?
my normal ratio is we'll go in an active market like Northern Virginia. I'll go 75% of the after repair value. If the 75% ARV holds and it's underneath the loan to cost, and I like you as a borrower, you know what you're doing. I knew he had his GC company. I knew he knew what he was doing. I'll go 100% loan to cost. I am probably one of the only lenders. I'm not sure, Connor, if you guys go 100% LTC, but I'm not afraid to go 100% LTC because we have fixed and flipped over 400 houses.
Charlie, how did you explain what the loan to cost is?
Oh, so loan to cost is basically the purchase price plus the renovation. So in this case, the loan to cost is $350, and then we bounce numbers off that $350,000. So in this case, we gave him 100% of the loan to cost number. I don't have a problem with that because we're not scared of the asset. If we had to come in and take it over, we just fix and flip it ourselves and put it on the market and sell it for that at the time it was $475. Okay, so that went pretty good. So let's talk about your renovation. $75,000. So for me, our borrowers, if they tell me they're going to do a $75,000 renovation, I'm going to say that's going to take 75 days, 2 months and a half. If it's one of our fix and flips, it's going to be $2,000 a day. So it might be a month and a week. How long did it take you to do the 75,000?
30 days.
So you did it in 30 days.
Yep.
I think
so
you
you-
got pictures of it.
Yeah, I got pictures here in a second. We'll take a look at the pictures. So those are the pictures. You did a really good job on it. Yeah, that's the end product. We don't have any befores. I look for the MLS. You don't have befores, do you? You have befores?
Oh, yeah, but no, you don't have them.
No, we ain't got them.
I got them.
We don't have them. All right, so let's go back. We might not be going back. All right, it doesn't matter. So what did you end up? Let's talk about the flip. We thought it was 475. You ended up selling it for what? 455?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Talk about the experience, and I'm going to give it away. Talk about the experience with the agents.
So it was not a pleasant experience just because, rule of thumb, just make sure you pick a good agent because it could cost you money. Because I could have made an extra $10,000 off of this if my broker agent was actually doing their job. And also pick a local agent because the fact that if they're like 30, 45 minutes away, they're actually going to show open houses. If they live like an hour and a half, they're not going to go do open houses for you. They're not going to even work for you.
And they're not even going to put up a sign.
And they ain't going to put up a sign. they're not even gonna do nothing. So don't waste your time. Not even if they're your best friends, you're from childhood. Don't even might as well don't even go that route. For example, I was trying to build a relationship with this broker agent.
don't
Why?
lie.
Because she was a short sale agent, and she looked like she had more deals because she done another couple short sales around like the Northern Virginia area because she's a broker in the Northern Virginia Stafford area. And yeah, so I was trying to build that relationship with her, and she cost me about 10,000 because the she had to listen for 2 months.
Holding costs.
Holding
right?
costs.
Holding costs.
And she did not put up a sign, did not even do an open house, didn't do anything.
No
So,
staging, right? No staging either.
staging.
Okay, no
No
staging.
Metaport, nada. So
Okay, so then what happened? You sort of fired her. You fired her.
Fire her. I got my aunt's help, my mom's help, my lawyer's help to write up a nice little letter. And then, yeah, because she was not trying to let me go out of contract. Because I tried to fire her. She would not let me out. Oh, so I had to get some professional advice on that. So, yeah, it could get nasty. But
And there's not a lot of inventory up there.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know for months.
Right. It should have.
I'm renting.
We thought so. It
Yes.
definitely. It should have
I
sold.
know.
As a matter of fact, it should have sold. Matter of fact, I thought it probably should have sold for a little bit higher, but it didn't matter because I think at the end of the day, you made money, right? You made
yeah,
okay money.
I made okay money, about $25,000. That's in 1 month what work. To me, if you make $100,000, that's $25,000, 25% raise you just made.
Yeah.
What you gotta do? I got a buddy of mine that he's one of the top agents that works in Keller Williams. He has his firm there, and he sold it in one day, one open house.
Okay, and then explain to the group also too your experiences as a student because you were actually one of our first students, right? You were number 5, I think. I don't remember.
Pretty early on.
But you were early on because you've been with us for almost a year now or 9 months.
Correct.
So talk about your experiences as a student and also talk about how other students are actually hiring you to do big GC jobs. I want to hear your explanation.
So the Clear Class financial experience has been amazing since day one. Charlie, Sam, and Ed been literally at the phone at the fingertips anytime I needed help, advice, anything. They actually brought some deals. I actually always said, if you want to go fast, find a mentor, because especially the ones that want to teach, that not actually still on the ground, but that want to teach you, want to give back. And that's what this group of gentlemen and the whole organizations have been able to do. They've been able to, one, help me find deals. One, also how to identify deals. Two, what is a short sale? What does a distressed asset look like? What is actually a good deal? What is going to call all the legal stuff behind it. Actually, I bought my first auction through them too. So I've been able to move in light speed years compared to somebody that's just trying to tread the waters themselves.
Yeah.
The financials part, they've been able to trust me and been able to fund me as soon as I need the money. They fund me, and all my projects been going smoothly. I'm about to have another house about to be sold in DC. Got another one buying it, so it's just been a smooth transition the whole entire time, and I'm very pleased, and I think I know I made the right decision. Investment was Pennington now because I already 10 times made more than what I invested in the program. So
Yeah, that's good. And so one of the things though that Giovanni did for us is that remember it's not a one-way street. It's a handshake relationship. One of our students bought a house 22308. It was a waterfront house. She picked it up for $725. Ended up selling it for what, 1.25. But across the street was a lot of brush that had to be cleared out so that she could get the water view access, and had a lot of weird plants. Well, she got a quote of $15,000 from somebody else to do it. Well, she reached out and asked Giovanni if Giovanni had a guy that would do it. And so Giovanni's guy did it for $5,000. Now, that might not mean anything to you guys, but when she flipped the house, that actually put an actual 10,000 real dollars in our pocket if it wasn't for Giovanni. So I think Lauren is pretty happy with your contribution, and you certainly didn't have to do that. But like I said, it goes both ways. I know Justin, I don't think he's here, but Justin's using Giovanni on a project. I think we have another student or two using you on projects. I don't remember exactly which ones, but it's sort of a handshake. And so for you, I want to thank you for your success. You know, I pray and hope for your continued success, and I want to thank you for doing this. Thank you.
thank you for having me.
But no, before you go, Before you go, do you have any questions while he's still here?
Yeah. Giovanni, was that your first deal? This one?
Yeah, that was my first deal with Clear Scott.
My question is about your renovation budget. That's an
In-house price, right? Like not a markup that we would be paying on labor or materials, a fee for you.
Right. So yeah, you probably be looking at this probably like 85 if it was you, or 90 max. So if you somebody that's greedy.
Yeah, because basically he's taking his temp.
To be honest with you, if you ran the numbers like it is right now, this would not have been a deal because I lost 20K because it went down based on the ARV. So for example, like it would not have been a deal, but I'm made it happen. And plus, nobody's gonna take the learning experience away from me. Who I always say that's just priceless.
Yeah.
It's like I know what a short sale is.
Yeah.
I know what an auction looks like. So
Right. Also, too, for Giovanni, and this is a really good lesson to learn, is that these numbers move, they change, and they don't always go up. So when you buy, you really got to buy right. And unfortunately, at the 475 price, it was a really, really good buy. The problem was that closing got delayed 3-4 months, and it got delayed into the presidential election. And so when it got delayed into the presidential election, we had consumers were uneasy. And so those are the kind of things you guys got to look at when you do these projects. And, the best part for Giovanni is that he executed it. He did what he was supposed to do. He had that $75,000 renovation done in a month. So thank goodness that happened.
Another good lesson about, first of all, I didn't anticipate when we started this community how much of a community it is. We have a lot of things that we teach, but I've learned a lot from Giovanni and the other students helping students. It's really been quite powerful. And this is a good example in that, I'm the lawyer. These guys are real estate brokers. We have a longtime contractor, Maurice, who's also a student. And by having a team, we can execute this kind of deal. And so Giovanni, he has that piece, the construction piece. He has down pat. He's amazing at doing that, but he may not have the other pieces. Nobody has everything. And so by having a community like this and everybody learning from everybody else, I think it's been, I know I've learned a ton as well.
All right. Well, we got to get moving on. My time checker over there give me a hard time. So
you got to put.
one more question.
No, it was just cosmetics.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Those are the pictures. You guys can see the pictures. Did that help? Is that good? You guys learned a little bit, I hope? Yeah. All right. Next up, I think you're up, Ben. Ben's going to talk a few minutes about DSCR lending. Do you want this or you want me to do it? You can do it. All right.
It's not a lot there. Hey everybody, my name's Ben Bisco. I'm with Atlantic Coast Mortgage. We're a correspondent lender. We're actually headquartered right down the street in Fairfax Corner. I've been doing mortgage lending for 20 years, and I've known Sam and Charlie 15, 16 years. But we do DSCR loans. We do any other kind of mortgage financing, but I'm going to talk about DSCR lending today. And really just kind of a high-level overview of kind of how they work, and then kind of touch on some things that we can do with that. So DSCR loans, it's really very simple how to calculate the qualifying ratio for it. You just take the cash flow of the property and divide it by the expenses, and it gives you a ratio. And obviously anything over 1 is a good ratio. That means positive cash flow. Anything below 1 is not quite as good. And, we can go down to 0.75 on the ratio, depending upon the cash reserves and things like that. But it's super simple. There's no personal income verification. We do a credit check, and it's really very simple. That's all it is. And what else?
I think that it's pretty interesting that the 1.25 is the best. And when you go to a community bank, that's what the minimum they're looking for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not even interested
So we're a correspondent lender. So we have multiple investors that will do these types of loans, right? And different investors have different requirements as far as to what that ratio will be and what they will allow. And, the lower ratios, again, if you have cash reserves, that is going to allow to be able to do a lower ratio. And, we typically, obviously you want to have the positive cash flow, but in some circumstances you can do it a little bit lower, depending upon the other criteria of the loan. So there's going to be lots of different, factors that can go into it. But ultimately, the ratio itself is going to be the main deciding factor.
But how low will they go?
We've done 0.7, nothing below 0.75.
A 0.75.
It's amazing.
Right.
That's pretty low, guys.
But again,
0.75.
that's with significant cash reserves.
And your credit score has got to be 780.
Yes, that needs to be kind of like the very the best of best credit score, best reserves, things like that. So.
What role does the amount of value that you have or equity you have in the property? So if you've got a $500,000 property, depending on how high the loan goes, maybe you're okay with the $200,000 sitting in the property. Does that affect that? Or?
That does. Loan to value factors into that as well. So obviously, the lower loan to value, better credit score, more cash reserves will give you more flexibility with that ratio. So, and go to the next slide, because then that talks a little bit more about, and again, it's no personal income verification. We do have to do a credit check. Typically, we want to see a minimum of 660, and it's going to vary, again, depending upon your loan to value, what your credit score is. So there could be multiple ways to do it and multiple scenarios. But and obviously, if you can do a conventional mortgage, that's what you would like to do. But conventional mortgages are going to have limits on the number of financed properties. That's personal income verification. There's credit score requirements. There's, sometimes when you're financing investment properties, conventional loans might not necessarily be the way to go. And this is obviously not for fix and flip. This is for fix and hold. If you find a distressed property, you can get your hard money loan to fix it up. And then if you want to hold it, then you can look at DSCR. And again, you want to try and do a conventional mortgage if you can, just because the interest rates are going to be better with that. But it's got some advantages over doing a traditional conventional mortgage. Fannie Mae limits the number of properties owned to 10. You don't have that with DSCR. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac limits the loan amount now in this area is a little over $1 million. We can lend up to $3 million. As far as the loan to values for purchase, we could do 15% down. There's obviously no mortgage insurance. A cash out refinance, we could do 75% of the value. Rate and term, you could do up to 80%. So rate and term, that's where it may come into play. Where you've got the property, you've gotten your financing to do the improvements, and then when you're ready to pay off Sam or Charlie or Capital, whoever it may be, that's when you can come in and take a look at that. The other thing too, short-term rentals are allowed, so Airbnbs. I don't know if I don't think that's necessarily going to apply here, but the other thing, gift funds are allowed on investment properties. For conventional mortgages, you can't get gift funds. And seller concessions, they're capped at 2%. So there are some other things. Again, that's going to be on the purchase side. You can vest properties in an LLC. Conventional mortgage, you can't do that. And you can do a lot of things with condos where they may not be warrantable for conventional financing, and so you could do a lot with that. We have other options aside from DSCR. We could do bank statement loans and things like that. But in the investor space, the DSCR is pretty much, a good way to go. So,
All right. Any
and
questions?
that's about it.
Yep. Any questions?
Sure.
So when you do your calculation for the ratios, interest only, how long do you do interest only, and does the DSCR ratio matters in that?
Yes, it does. And the interest only, typically those are going to be on ARMs, and that it really depends. You need to have a better credit score, a lower loan to value to do the interest only. You know, again, the things that give you the additional options on the mortgages are going to be there if you're a little more qualified.
Does the investor come to you? Does the investor come to you after the concrete's been repaired?
Correct.
Okay, so there's no.
No, we can't. There's no. The property needs to be ready to go. It needs to be able to be appraised. You know, we can't do renovation. You can't do DSCR renovation, or at least we don't. And so the property needs to be ready to go and appraisable.
Yeah, that's why the play is use your hard money lender, max out your leverage on the property, including the renovation if you can, get it performing, get a tenant in there, and then go to a DSCR lender. Yeah, take everybody out.
And what geographic area are you talking about?
So my company is licensed in 30 states. I'm licensed in Virginia, Maryland, Florida, and DC. But any other states that we do business in, we can do loans in those states. And essentially, if someone came to me and I have a loan closing in Ohio on Monday, it's not a DSCR loan, but past client of mine that I referred to another loan officer in house that's licensed there. But we are licensed in 30 states.
Well, you guys do, years ago, with a solo K, I looked for and got a non-recourse DSCR to satisfy the tax requirements. Do you guys do any non-recourse? I only knew at the time like one or two lenders would do that.
No.
Yeah, that's not common.
No.
Do you guys allow solo care? You kind of bring down the
No.
What was the question?
do they allow solo care? You bring down the guarantee.
Nope. Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right. Thank you. All right. And so I know we're cutting a little late for the deals, but we'll get there in about 5-10 minutes. What we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to sit quickly, have a panel discussion on what's going on in the economy that you guys might want to hear. Maybe hear all of our opinions, and we'll talk about the other time frames of when the economy wasn't so good and what were the things that we did to bail ourselves out. Okay? So navigating disruptive markets.
So the first image on the left, Ed sent us this morning. So it's a doom image he just referred to.
I specialize in the doom loop.
So I wake up to a doom image more or less every morning. Can we lower the lights? I don't know.
Charlie on the back or there.
Not sure.
Get in the lights, America.
I'm not so.
Come on.
In any case, that's a 10-year bond yield, and it's showing an increasing cost structure there.
So that would
increase interest rates, and so that wakes you up in the morning like, oh, we're looking at an increased interest rate environment. So what could that do to us today in the context of real estate? And it's probably nothing too good from an increasing interest rate.
And this literally may have changed today because of what happened. But so this is the 10-year Treasury over 2 days with the rate spiking, even though the market's down, and that's very unusual. As those of you follow some of the investment, typically there's a flight to quality. People are going to buy 10-year Treasuries, and foreign investors are going to buy them. So when our stock market went down, a lot of that money should have flowed into Treasuries. Because it didn't, and it went up, there's a lot of concern that you could get basically a stagflation situation where you have a stagnant economy and inflation rates actually going up at the same time. Having grown up in the 70s, I have some memories of that. But
they're not tracking. I mean, I don't know if this data's exactly the timing.
Right.
But what they've seen is that as this 10-year becomes more expensive, the 30-year rate is not tracking with it in the same way anymore that it had always previously tracked. So it may not. I know there's the doom wake up call, but the reality is the 6.875 or 6.85 is the same rate that was six weeks ago. The same rate. There's absolutely no lost track alone.
Well, for me, it's a little different, right?
Pretty well.
I love disruptive markets because disruptive markets means we're going to make a lot of money. My key indicators are the I's. Interest rates, inventory, inflation, right? So Ed talked a little bit about stagflation, but if the tariffs were say we're going to raise prices, right, and we went into this thing called a recession, well, what's the biggest thing against a recession? How do you combat a recession and get it out of a recession? Well, you drop interest rates. So if the fiscal policy is to raise tariffs, raise prices, well, that's going to push us into a recession, in my opinion. But how do you combat that? You lower rates. So I think we're at odds on what might happen.
Well, the problem is you can't lower rates if the bond market is doing that. Rates are going up at the same time that all the other parts go up. And normally, you're exactly right. That's what happened in '08 and everywhere. They just drop the rates. So, but this is a good example of the normal thing that should happen, and why I said this may be old news from this afternoon, because the reverse today. So the other thing is, let's say even I was right about that. With the tariffs, if the tariffs stay, I mean, some stay in Canada or whatever, think about what it does to the value of an existing property. Try to build a new property when you have all of those tariff issues. Now, it affects renovating a property, but if you think about it, one of the great things about real estate is it generally is a good inflation hedge. People need to live somewhere. And my personal opinion is, if all of this goes, the doom loop happens, that there'll be a lot of a buy and hold actually may become a very good thing to get rental values out of things, because you have that inflation edge. You buy it at whatever value, inflated value it is now. If it inflates even more, rents will have to go up. People have to live somewhere. So, but you just have to pay attention to this, I think, to try to understand the different things that can happen.
So I think you could look at an environment that was overall gloomy, but it's not that relevant to you individually. You have to be aware of it, but you find your path in it, and that's what we did in each one of those markets. I was a licensee in '89, and that was the first time I did door knocking and finding deals of people who needed a pre-foreclosure sale. In the dot-com bust, we switched our assets around and we started collecting rentals. And then by the time '08 came, when everyone else was just running from the real estate market, Charlie found REOs, and we became the second biggest REO seller in the region. And we were just kept finding our own path at each point. For us, I know it's disruptive in your mind, that people are having all these adverse experiences, but you really have to look at your skills and match them up against the changing marketplace, not thinking in terms of what my old skills, how they fit right in and where they were, but how your current skills work in the current marketplace and how you can move yourself around in it. And I think that takes you out of a very negative doom loop mentality and into problem solving. You're getting sort of letting go of that fear by finding solutions, alternatives, delegating things, doing things in ways that are moving you forward. And I think that's how you deal with the psychology of just opening up Yahoo Finance, the Washington Post, any magazine that you might read.
Well, early in the subprime crisis, I followed along with you guys and bought and fix and flip foreclosures. Margins were great. As that started, people were like, hey, wait a second. It started to compress a little bit. I didn't like the return I was getting fixing and flipping, so I ended up keeping those properties. The buy price was great for a rental. I still have those properties. So that's where we joke about the doom thing. There's always a way through these, as long as you understand what's going on and you recognize that what was the right way to do it before may not be the next day. Like I said, I'm kind of watching if there is some doom scenario with real estate prices. It could be a really great time for buy and hold. On the other hand, I think because of the general inflation, I think the fix and flips are going to hold pretty well. Even if interest rates are up, people want to buy a house, good luck building one. You're much better off to buy a used one.
Yeah, and then let's talk about what you guys are interested in too, is the marketplaces. So I'm going to talk about Montgomery County and Northern Virginia. I'll include those in the same. We're going to talk about DC. I'll break it down a little bit. And then we'll just talk about PG County and what's going on. Northern Virginia is still very hot. It's really hot. You price it right and the conditions right, location is going to sell. The only change that we've seen in Northern Virginia is that you're not getting multiple bids on a lot of properties. Too bad, but they're selling. You're starting to see a little bit of maybe price reduction if it's overpriced, if you're really exuberant about it. But you're also seeing what's called a normal sale in Northern Virginia. You're getting a home inspection contingency. You're getting an appraisal contingency. So we're starting to see a little bit more normalcy into the market. Have no fear, that's fine, that's good. So we're not seeing any pressures in Northern Virginia or Montgomery County. PG County, we're seeing a hell of a lot of pressure in PG County, but we've been seeing pressure in PG County for at least 6 months now. The month, was it January or I think it was January, PG County had about 100 foreclosures in PG County alone. And that month, Montgomery County had 17, which is a lot for Montgomery County. So we are seeing price pressure on the PG County side. My recommendation to you guys would be to buy the entry-level housing stock because the entry-level housing stock seems to be good on the PG County side. We can now talk about DC. Mr. Al Rice is here, so he could probably chime in a little bit on DC. But guys, DC has been in a bear market for 2.5 years. We have seen 20 to 25% price reductions across the board. Ward 7, Ward 8, other side of the Anacostia is getting absolutely pummeled. With HPAP being underfunded and not funded anymore, those properties cannot sell. Petworth, Columbia Heights, we've seen a drop of 20 to 25% in those marketplaces. Why? Because we've had to foreclose on a few properties where our borrowers pretty much just said, I'm done, you guys are taking the properties back. So we know exactly what's going on in DC. If you're on the Chevy Chase side, you're in Cleveland Park, you're in those areas, right? Upper Northwest, those areas are doing great. They're doing fine. So what it means is that it's the 3 I's, right? It's at a subdivision market. You've got to be at the most granular approach to the market, the subdevelopment level. You've got to understand the inventory at the subdevelopment level to determine what kind of market it is at that subdevelopment level. Is there a lot of inventory? Okay, prices are coming down. Is it a neutral market where you have active, some under contract, some solds? Great. Is it a subdivision where you have a lot of under contracts, you have a lot of solds, but you have hardly any actives? That's a market that's still going up. So you really, as investors, you've got to understand the market at the most granular level because one size does not fit all in the DMV. And so that's my take on it. And that will continue to be my take. I watch interest rate, inventory, inflation.
And I just want to second, I love entry level properties because again, people have to live somewhere. So if you want to graduate from renting, you maybe are a little squeezed, you are going to go in a little higher property, interest rates, all these other things squeeze you. They're going to squeeze you down into that entry level property. And they actually, in my experience, have been that much more competitive. You're going to get more offers. And not that if you know the market, like Charlie knows the market, sure, the regular middle level, upper level, they can all be good as long as you know what you're doing. But of course, the higher the value of the property, the better the finishes have to be. So it's more sensitive on those issues. So that's why me not being the real estate guys the guy that these guys are, I love entry level stuff.
Yeah, not only that, another good point that he brought up is that, guys, let's say you're going to fix and flip a house. You got to have plan B and plan C. Let's say prices go down. Well, it's better to buy entry level properties because if you got to turn it into a rental, you either turn it into a VRBO or an Airbnb if you want to be in the short-term rental market, or you just do a normal tenant. You still got to go to plan B or plan C because you might have to rent out your properties. And so you just got to keep that in mind when you're buying. Things might not work out. And so just keep that in mind. That's why we like entry-level properties a little bit better. All right, any questions for us, guys? This is interactive, so, and then we'll get on. Okay, Keith?
When you talk about PG County and entry-level pricing, in your opinion, what is entry-level pricing for PG County?
Oh, that's a good question. All right, we'll talk about all over the area. PG County entry-level pricing for me is the $450 and below space. Fairfax County, I would say $650 and lower is entry-level. Prince William County, $450 and lower. Arlington, Alexandria, I mean, those prices are really high. I would still say $650, $700 is entry level. DC, depending upon where you're at, same kind of thing. So you really have got to know the entry level barriers. Like, for example, Charles County out in Waldorf, I would say entry level is $350. Okay. What's.
You don't put condo penthouse?
Huh? Yeah, condos are fine. The only thing that you got to be careful on condos is, let's talk about market depreciation. What happens when prices go down? What's the first indicator? So what we look for is two things. We look for the exurbs, right? We look at the inventory level, the exurb level, like Front Royal, Winchester, where you at, Newmarket. We look at Waldorf. We look at Baltimore County, Anne Arundel County, Warren County. So we look at the outer counties to see what that inventory is doing, and we look at the condo market. We look and see if condos are sitting, because that's usually an indicator when you see growing inventory in those asset classes, especially condos, then you know a correction might be coming. And so you really have got to keep an eye on the condo markets. Now in DC, we wouldn't even lend on condos in DC, because that market is going, whoop, they overbuilt DC. There's too many condos, there's too many condo conversions. We've all got burned. I see you back there, raise your hand. We've all got burned on condo conversions as lenders.
And multifamily.
And multifamilies. Let's face it, we're lenders. We get
Well, Alex Cooper has, 9 multifamilies in D.C. coming up for auction at the same
units,
time.
8 units.
9 8-unit properties, yeah.
And the bank was Main Street Bank. Yep. So keep that in mind. Curtis?
So talking about these submarkets, so I live in Reston, and as broker called me last week, my next door neighbor's house sold for $615 in September for a bone day. 3 weeks ago, two other people on my same little lot. One sold for $7, one sold for $730. Wow. One sold the first day, the other one took 2 days. So that 100-some thousand appreciation in 6 months, 7 months. And I asked them, that's pretty big. She said, that's a starter home in Westman now, 600.
There you go. There you go. There you go. That's one of the eyes. Guys, you got to understand the inventory. But we have so many disparaging markets across the DMV. Like I said, Al will tell you. Man, Al could even tell you what neighborhoods in DC are really going down. Fort DuPont, Deanwood, these kind of areas where you could put a house on the market entry level, it would fly. They're not flying anymore. They're sitting for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So you really have got to understand it to that granular level, like you just said. And like I said, we haven't seen any change in Northern Virginia, except that we're getting to normalcy of the deals. All right. Any other questions? And we'll move on.
Good question.
So from an educational perspective, so say you go LTC on a fix and flip, right? And then you got to have a contingency plan, A or B and C. And you have to go to
A rental property now from fix and flip.
The SER.
How do you leverage that?
Well, remember though, what you have to realize is that for us to do 100% LTC, you're buying that property at 70 cents on the dollar. You're buying that property 65 cents on the dollar. So what you've done is you've created the equity on the buy side. So it doesn't matter. Even if the market stays neutral, you bought it at 65, 70 cents on the dollar, you renovated it. Now the property is worth, let's say you bought it at 350 or 300, you put 50,000 renovation, you're in there at 350 and it's worth $500,000. So now you have a $150,000 spread in an even market. So that's where your equity is, because
a tenant in it.
And just because the sale market may be flat or going down with interest rate, the rental market may be going up at the same time. I mean, the rental market really has not fallen. So the markets are not necessarily going to go in the same pattern. And of course, if you want to really protect yourself, it's good to have some cash cushion so that if you do have to sit and self-finance it for a little while, that's yet another backup plan. But if you buy it at the right price, you should have an out to one of those.
Yeah. Okay. Was that good? You guys like that? That was all right. Okay. All right. Now we get into the meat of the night. Deals. I don't even know who's first. I guess am I first? Talise is not here, right? Okay. I'll start off. Fix and flip in Washington, D.C. Talise has been here a couple times. That's the address, 322 15th Street, Northeast Washington. I'll probably need your take on this deal. It's 2002. It's in Old City #1. Square footage, I didn't even put that in there. It's probably, I think it's 1,500 over 750. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I've got picture. Do we have pictures in here? We just got a front picture, don't we? It needs a full gut renovation. I think that 405 number is way, way too high. It's really high, isn't it? I mean, that's maybe a 2.
That's too small. Go back to the picture.
No, we don't got one picture.
Giovanni will do that for 405.
Yeah, this is why Talise needs to be here. That ARV looks kind of high, doesn't it? 1.3. Old City 1 on 15th Street. What's the ARV? What's the ARV over there?
What do you think?
We don't know though. That's the thing. That's why she's not here. But if you're interested, write her number down. Take her email. I think the 405. She didn't send us Sarah. She didn't send us plans, did she? So I don't know if this is a condo conversion or not. Maybe I can't guess. I'm not.
Well, if you
She submitted it. She was supposed to be
yeah,
here.
you have to do all the soft cost of a condo. conversion
The
before.
property was just purchased recently, so she is either the owner or she knows the owner. So that's deal number one if you guys are interested. Are we voting on this deal? Oh, yeah. All right, let's vote on the deal, guys. I know I didn't cover it in detail because I'm not the owner. I'm not sure if it's condo conversion. But let's just take it at face value. Let's just say it's a basic fix and flip. $1.3 million out, let's say a $250 renovation, a $575 purchase. So evaluate it based on that. Sorry, she wasn't here. So you guys know how to do it, right? Just scan your code and let's get voting. Oh, wow.
This is live voting?
Live voting, bro. Live voting. We instituted this last month. I think you guys liked it, and then we'll get to the end of it. Yeah, because one of the things that we want to do, guys, is No, you're good. We want to make this as interactive as possible. Your suggestions are welcome for next meetups. Anybody has a presentation idea, please let us know. So we're trying to make it as interactive as possible. All right, good. All right, so I would say pretty middle of the road. Whoever thought it was a 5, I like that. Let me get an idea. Who did 4 and 5? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. 4 and 5? Okay. You guys, keep your hands up. Look at these guys. So you guys are DC investors? That's all right. They are now.
Isn't that the deal? You have actually agreed to buy it now if you're a 4 or 5? Then no.
No, because if you submit a deal, you better be here to present it.
That's true.
I'm not presenting it. I don't do a very good job on someone else's deal, but we sort of knew she might not show up. All right, next one is, you want to present this or me?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll present it. All right. I don't know why this says this. Who put this here? Who says this is a wholesaler? Guys, this is an REO deal.
So actually, it came in REO yesterday.
Yeah, this is an REO deal. We're the owner. Address is 22597 Red Hill Manor, Leesburg, Virginia. Residential, 4 beds, 5 full baths, 2 half baths. It's got a 3-car garage. It's on 10 acres.
It's 10,000 square feet.
10,000 square feet. It's in Leesburg.
Well, you're going to see pictures.
I was actually looking at this. You said you own it?
We own it now.
Now. Yeah. Did you look at it today?
Let me show you pictures here in a second.
Did you look at it today?
All right.
Come talk to us after.
Just afterwards.
I've got comps, so I'm going to explain them here in a minute. Our ARV is 2.8 to 2.99. It's going to need, Sam's got 750 in there. Fozzie's brother called me today and wants to do it for a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm. It was.
But remember, though,
the interior.
it's 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
It is framed. It's built and it's framed. It needs drywall and it needs your finishes to get it to the finish line. But you're going to have to put up really, really high-end finishes. My guess is probably at least 150 a square foot, right? Maybe how much do you think a square foot?
What?
10,000.
It's going to be a lot because
the
basement you can do sort of inexpensively.
Yeah,
beyond that, it's going to need exterior hardscaping.
Yeah, it's going to need everything.
And deck and all this. What do you think? You saw it?
Yeah, I mean, my builder probably can do it for a lot less than $750. The workmanship is actually pretty good.
No, the workmanship's great.
Yeah,
it's great. The house is nice.
It's zoned in a good school zone.
It's not in like Leesburg. It's like literally right next to Willisburg in Ashburn. So it's zoned for that Indies Independence High School. It's literally 3 minutes from Brambleton, Virginia. Brambleton, where I live. So I'm familiar with it. It's on 10 acres. And they inflated the ARV like up to $4 million.
We don't think so. We don't see it.
See, they are using comps and Creighton Farms.
That's why we don't see it. Right. There's a 3 point, and I'll show you here in a second. There's a $3.99 million sold comp in Creighton Farms on 1 acre, but this ain't Creighton Farms. You got discounted about $1 million.
Well, and just to emphasize from the educational point, it's so fascinating. A lot of you obviously understand that you can look by distance and look at the type of product and think, oh, $4 million, and it's just totally wrong. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go through some comps, and this is good because I want you to critique the comps because we're going to vote. We're going to vote on this deal. Dylan, you can put your 1 if you want. I won't be offended. So I don't think you guys aren't going to offend us. Trust me. Okay. Here's the tax record. Above grade is 7,881. The basement is about 4,000 square feet.
Was it never finished?
Never
Right,
finished.
it's just framed. You'll see pictures in it.
You'll see pictures. So keep this in mind. 7881 in Loudoun County, they only give you the above grade square footage when you're looking at these tax records. And so, do I not have comps in here? Yeah, there we go. Put the pictures for the comps. Let's go back to the pictures. You can see it's actually a really nice house. It's got a 3-car garage. It's really a nice house. The guy, I don't know why the hell he didn't finish it. He had some other problems I can't go into. Okay, look at your comps. Trimec Court sold for $2.869 million. That was about a year ago. 6643 above grade. It's 1,200 square feet smaller. This one sold at $2.72 million. 5750. It's like almost 50% lower square footage.
Different subdivision.
Different subdivision. Well, there's nothing in the subdivision. Here's your 4665. Sold for $2.9 million. That's closer. That's your Willisford. All right. We have the one in Creighton Farms I was telling you about that sold at $4 million. That square footage is a little bit bigger, but again, it's Creighton Farms. Subtract $1 million. That's where we got our
buyer.
Different buyer. That's where we got our estimate at. 5090 in Creighton Farms, 3.8 million, much smaller. It's another Creighton Farm at 3.8, much smaller. So I think, I don't know about you, Richard, Mr. Critiquer, I think our 2.9 is close.
Yes. I had
Close.
Yes, I had it at just over 3.
I love you, man.
3.
I love you.
But it was the same, so I was hoping to get it at a we'll talk after.
Anytime. If you guys notice,
I give you $5.
write this down. 703-587-2475. All right, so that's that. All right, go ahead. Shoot it, guys. You're not going to offend me. Trust me. Keep on that.
Charlie, you got an asking price? They want the asking price.
Shit, there was an asking price.
No.
No, there was a lot of interest here.
1.4. Asking 1.4. 1.4. We'll say 700 Reno, 2.9 ARV. 1.4. Yeah. Who's going to buy it? Right. Right. There's a lot of variabilities.
That was my question.
There's a lot of variabilities.
My question is, how do you assess, Charlie, market risk and a high market price like that? Will interest rates matter to somebody with that much money? Or I think typically they don't, right?
Interest rates don't matter.
Yeah.
So at Creighton Farms, we know the builder out there.
We know the builder.
They're mainly cash oriented buyers, and they do time and materials purchases. So they're totally not price sensitive. The question is this going to bring that buyer?
This particular product, yeah.
Okay, we good? Oh, all right, not so bad. Hey, look, that's better than the DC deal. All right, no, it's good. It's good because, you guys your feedback is really important to us, right? I mean, it's a higher dollar house. Richard, if you don't buy it, Sam's already going to move into it with his wife. So he's ready to go. So
that? You said,
yeah.
I'm moving in that.
He's moving in.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what's next. It better not be me. Oh, Horace. Good. Come on up, Horace. I think I saw you. Please be here. All right, okay. Horace is here. All right. Come on up, Mr. Horace. We need a mic. She's right behind me. I'm going to get out of your way. You stand wherever you want. Guys, Horace Robinson, name, email is up there. He's got a deal he wants to present. I got slides for you too if you need to look at them.
Yeah, good evening, all. Name's Horace Robinson. That's my number up top. This is a property location 4405 Laurel Road in Alexandria, Virginia. It's in the Mount Vernon district, Mount Zephyr division in particular. It's almost a quarter acre. All the prices are there. Total basement is 1,500 and above grade is 1,500. So it's pretty much 3,000 square foot house, right? I'm asking 471. Renovation cost is 200,000. You're gonna need a substantial renovation, as the price depicts. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
All right, hold on. Let's keep going. I'm gonna ask you some questions. 471, a $200,000 reno. Got a couple quotes on it. It's a fix and flip deal. Horace has it under contract. So like I said, we vet the contract holder, we vet the owner. So a deal isn't going to be presented that we'll know who owns it or has the contract holder. So that's Horace. Are we allowed to tell them how you found it?
Sure. Well, pretty much this was a driving for dollars deal. Just got bored one evening, went out, started driving. This is a cul-de-sac. All right, so I went on a cross street and there are two trucks parked up right at the front, nice big hedge, and there's a big weed growing up beside the truck. So it's like, nah, this truck isn't moving. So I drove down there and through the farm. There's a house inside, treed over. And the person who was there deceased a couple of years ago. The two trucks are still there. And it's in a trust. So the person's name on the public records was an attorney.
I'll give you a lot.
I pretty much followed up with him from December last year. So they finally got around to clearing it up.
There you go. And what Horace doesn't know is that we went ahead and we have pictures, and we also have some comps for Horace. And I think his 790 number might be a little low. And so that's a couple of pictures. It does need a full gut renovation, shocker. And so the reno's about right, 200, maybe 190 to 210, 225. If Giovanni does, it's probably 25,000.
Giovanni could do an additional.
All right. I know you aren't expecting this, but we also ran some comps for you guys. Here's the tax record. Same thing in Fairfax County as Loudoun County. Above grade, 1,500. Tax assessment is 711,570. That's the tax assessment. Okay. So we've got some comps for you. House, same zip code, 1349. Sold for 809. Gatesheads, smaller square footage, sold for 899,999. Manor Court, 1409, same zip code, sold for 830. And then Millbrook sold for 780. Similar square footage. So 790 might be low. Okay, we're just trying to be conservative. Just because Horace wanted us to be conservative, he didn't want you guys to buy it and then beat him up later. Okay, what do y'all think? We also have Horace's contact information, and then rate the deal.
Yes, it's upstairs, downstairs.
I have no idea. I've never seen it. Horace, good job. All right, let's see if a good dealer was rate.
A deal. It says you can do it.
Harry Golf, you're next, wherever you are. Are you still here, Harry? Please be here. You're here. You're next.
Her? You mean the?
Uh-oh. Holy crap. This is awesome. This is the Clear Sky deal. That's good.
Thanks.
Anybody else need his number, email? You guys got it if you want it?
There's room for a fourth bedroom, right?
Yeah.
As it is right now, it's 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom.
Yeah, but you could add a fourth bedroom.
All the downstairs is wide open.
Yeah.
You can basically add another 2 bedrooms downstairs.
There you go. But you have the windows in the basement, right?
Yes.
That's it, yeah. It does have a pool though, right?
It has a pool. It has a pool, and
Yeah, I would fill in the pool. I would spend your $4,000 or $5,000, fill that shit in, and make it to a backyard.
the garage.
I wouldn't fill it. Pool.
The garage is enclosed also.
I'd put dirt in that thing and put some flowers in. All right. What do you guys think? You guys done? Good, right?
The comps.
All right. Thank you, sir.
It house at 800.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, man. All right. Next up, Mr. Harry Goff. This is the famous Harry Goff.
Come on, Harry.
You guys remember Kennedy Street? What else do we do here? Kennedy Street?
Oh,
that's Eric.
you know, I had no idea you wouldn't do this.
Yeah, I know you had no idea that
I
we were gonna do
really
this.
did.
That's all right. I can coach you through it.
I know. Well, I've been knowing Charlie and Sam and Ed for, that long.
A long time.
A long time. It's amazing what I was looking at. I do fund churches. I finance churches. And this was a church deal. They sold me the property. It's a condo conversion. Ground up construction. Shovel ready. The asking price is $4 million with approved set of plans. Now you want to know what the renovation cost is for too. The ARV is 10.7. That's going to probably be a little higher. I was just looking at some comps on 11th Street. The 2 bedrooms, 2 baths are going for 1.1. You got everything I got. Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for you.
Yeah, you did.
Sarah did. You can thank Sarah back
You
there.
did. I had no idea, and you did it very quickly.
Yeah, Ms. Gong show back there. Sarah.
You did it very well. I don't have a lot of time.
You got time. We got as much time as they're still here, so you take as much time as you want.
So, what I can say is the contractor that I have chosen and the actual.
There's your rendering in the back.
Yeah, those are the renderings.
That's
everything that's in the back. Solar panels. I mean, we did a great job with putting this deal together in terms of not sparing any costs with the finishings. So it's not gonna. It's not a what do you call entry level property.
Not an entry level.
Not an entry level property. It's
a good location.
It's a great location. Great location. And if you had any interest, let me know. It's a lot of wiggle room in there.
There's his number, email. So he's looking for a couple of things. It's okay, I talk. You don't mind, Dave.
Either
so he's looking for investor money.
Either investor or a sellout, a buyer.
Takeout, yeah.
Yeah, but takeout. Either one.
If you're interested in a big development project. So the way
anyone that wants to do a ground up, wants to get their feet wet with a ground up, that's fine. We did it.
Plans.
Yeah. They're totally approved. We got a raise permit yesterday. So we're totally approved. Everything is shovel ready. And we're ready to go.
That's the real deal too.
Yeah. That took about a year and almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So I know for DC.
Yeah, so the way it was is that Harry purchased it from a church. 44, 46, 48, 50 Q.
No, it was just 44 and 46 Q Street.
So how'd you get 48 and 50?
We're tearing down the church, and we subdivided the lots. That's what took the most time.
Right, and one of them already had 3 condos.
One of them had 3. It was a 3 unit.
That's how you would get the extra condo.
That's 44. That's correct.
So it's 9 condos.
Yep. The total square footage on each one of those, the 3 unit.
That I have that. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We got it. Yeah, we got it.
It's 1,200 square feet. There is a miscalculation on.
Well, the 2 penthouses are 21. No, wait a minute. 2,100 and 21.
2,100, right? 2,100. Those are the two upper level ones.
He's got. If you need it, pick his name and number. He's got the plans.
We got everything.
I think we got the. Do we have the plans too?
Yeah, because
we got the plans too. So yeah, ask Harry. Yeah. Come to whatever you guys want to do. You want to take him out? Check. You want to invest in a deal?
Ride by and take a look. Give me a call. You want to meet me there? That's fine.
Yeah.
Conyer, yes.
How many guys is it?
None.
You what?
None.
What did you say? How many what?
IZ. They're none.
What's IZ?
Translate.
That's where they give you you got to give up a little something to get the get everything for the district government, but we have none.
Was that
It was a variance.
Was it a variance or because it was a church?
Yeah, it was because it was the same thing. It was just because it was a church.
It was a church use. That's
It was
why.
church use.
Convert church as well.
I'm sorry? No, not quite. Not quite. But you may have a couple of spirits floating around in there.
Curtis?
This international company that's really interested in these cohabs. So they take buildings like this and instead of having them make it 8 units.
It's 9. It's actually 9. Mm-hmm. No.
Well, wait a minute though. Wait a minute. You've got 9 units, but you've got all these bedrooms. 7, 10, 19. I mean, he's got 23 bedrooms.
Well, I don't know if if the district government will allow that or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they will.
That's something
They definitely will.
if you want to look into it, that's fine.
Yeah, I know. They just got 2 of them going. It's actually a good idea. It's like a big approved group home. This would be perfect for that.
And they're looking for different locations. Right now they have one.
Yep, another one.
Like
It's wonderful.
this would be also a good location. I don't know if there's a hospital nearby.
There are 4 hospitals nearby.
And is it close to a metro?
It is right at the metro.
Yeah.
Sure.
One of their niche for a lot of people that basically just been.
It's Howard University, Washington Hospital Center, VA, Children's Hospital.
So you're by right approved for 23 bedrooms right now. So we got the guys that you need. It's Test, Warren Test. We use Warren Test.
Yeah, Warren Test. Great firm, by the way.
All right. Any other questions? Connor, I think you're up next.
Thanks, Eric.
There's Harry's information. And there's Connor. Connor's up next. Here, you want this too? Here, it's that big. It's that big.
Cool, it's your controller. I don't think I have anything else. Do it. So I got one slide. We're good.
That's like you got one slide.
Yeah, okay.
Shows you what I know.
Everybody wants to.
How are you guys? I'm Connor. I'm with Washington Capital Partners. I do have 2 people here I want to shout out, Dan and Alex. They're here. So if you have any questions for me, you can ask them as well. But here we have a 30-year DSCR rental loan that I'm actually getting closed tomorrow. This was a property that was actually purchased in 2019 for $160, and they put about $45K in. About 2 weeks ago, it appraised at $410,000. Now, let me take this back. We did talk the basics of DSCR, so here what I'll do is just kind of cover the specifics, and if there's any questions, just let me know and we'll go over it. So the property appraised at 410. Because of this individual's credit score, which is 745, so pretty high, we were able to do a 70% cash out refinance. We did a 30-year amortization, meaning that this loan is going to be paid down over 30 years, and the rate was fixed, meaning that it's going to be the same payment for the next 30 years. One thing you'll notice is a prepayment penalty. That says 54321. What that means is that it's what's called a 5-year step down. So in year 1 of the loan, if you look to pay it off or sell it, it would be a 5% penalty. And it would go all the way down until year 5, and when it's only a 1% fee.
And year 6 is 0?
Year 6 is 0.
Through 30.
The reason for that is for lenders like myself, we're a bit different than Atlantic Mortgage, where these are not our typical loans. So our investors want to make sure they're going to have a return for some time, because those type of investors are expecting a much higher return. So they want to make sure they're going to have it for a while. We were able to secure them a rate of 6.75. We got that rate locked last week, so a little bit more. The volatility was a little bit easier. Our DSCR is 1.22, meaning that the total monthly debt of the 2,232 is more than covered. You'll notice the rate of 27. I just turned it off. All right. You notice the rental rate of about $2,700. That is actually.
It's on. Is it working?
Battery died.
We're gonna need
You want me to use that?
No, you don't have to.
All right.
We're gonna need it.
The 2,700 rental rate, I actually had to use what's called the market rate, what the appraisal said this area could rent for. However, the individual actually has had this rented for 2,900 for the past 2 years. So the DSCR is actually much higher than what it says here. Annual insurance of 834, they got that pretty cheap in my opinion, but that is because they have a rental portfolio and they have a very good relationship with their insurance provider. So there was no debt on this. So the sponsor is walking out with $287,000 less any closing costs, and they'll be using that to purchase a couple other rentals, utilizing myself. I don't know if you know this person, Charlie, but I won't say their name. But they'll get a loan from us, do an acquisition and construction loan, and then refinance into another rental. I'm sure you've covered that. That's the Burr model. They've already identified two. Now they were sitting on this free and clear, so they didn't want to move on it until they had two properties under contract. So we were able to close this in it'll be 18 days.
Now, could they have chose their AM schedule? Could they have done a 25 or a 20 or a 15?
So no, we don't have that. We do have, however, one of my favorite products and something I always ask someone is, what is your plan for this property? Are you looking to hold these things long term, pass it on to kids? Do you want to hold it for 30 years? Or is this more of a cash flow play where you may sell in a couple of years? And if that's the case, we have one product that is a 30-year loan. However, the first 10 years are interest only, and then it's 20-year amortized. So what that does is it gives you the option within those 10 years to decide, hey, I no longer want this, I'm ready to sell it. There are a lot of people who don't want to hold things for 30 years, but they want a high cash flow. We are also able to calculate the DSCR based on the interest-only period, which is a benefit. So sometimes some deals don't really pencil on a fixed rate, but they do pencil for an interest-only loan. So we're able to offer that and kind of save some properties that you may not want to sell right away.
Is that, given your investor structure you were talking about, do you allow with lender approval like an assumption of a loan like that, or would you?
No,
it has to be paid off, and so you're in it.
Yep.
But the interest only point is a good point. We were talking about the ability to flip what you were going to sell into a rental. That might give you a little more headroom.
Yeah.
To do something like that.
And one thing our capital stack has been able to do is we understand in this environment things are not selling where you're at. So we can do a non-cash out refinance up to 80%. So our
Plan B, right?
Yep. Our money lenders like us, we're typically going to be capped at 70, 75%. This gives you an extra additional buffer to make sure you can get that taken out.
Can you just go over what the prepayment penalty is, so people may not be aware when they see it like that, expressed like that?
Again, so that's a 5-year prepayment. So whenever you see someone give you a prepayment penalty or PPP, and it has those slashes, that is going to be a step down. So each year of the slash is the year of the penalty. So in year 1, it's a 5% penalty to refinance elsewhere or sell it. Year 2 of the loan, it's 4%. Year 3, it's 3. Year 4, it's 2%. Year 5, it's 1. So then year 6, there is no prepayment penalty. Now, what the prepayment penalty does is it allows for a lower rate because it's guaranteeing my investors 5 years of this rate. If you're like, hey, I might sell this in 3 years, that's an option for us, but it would likely impact the rate, and that likely would have been a 7% rate.
All right, and a 6.75 is a good DSCR rate.
Yep. And we are able to do no prepayment penalties, but again, it's going to impact the rate.
Rate's going up.
Yeah, today was a very volatile day.
Yep.
For us. Rates are still pretty decent. I think that we're personally very competitive with traditional 30-year mortgages. So
definitely
something pretty shocking in this world where this wasn't around 4 or 5 years ago.
All right, any questions?
Yeah, we only have 2. We have our processing fee, which is $1,100, and our origination fee. Everything else is paid to other vendors. So you'll have to get an appraisal.
Yep.
But then we also get what's called a CDA, or collateral desktop analysis. What that does is just make sure that the appraisal is correct, because these loans are bundled up and sold in tranches. to Wall Street, so they want to make sure that the value is very accurate.
Yeah, usually to the insurance companies.
Yes. One of the reasons today that my world kind of got rocked is because a very, very large DSCR lender was not able to sell their loans to the secondary market, and they lost millions and millions of dollars.
Wow.
So it was a bit interesting.
Yeah. Anybody else? Curtis, you had a question, right?
So the 5% penalty, that's based on the outstanding loan amount.
Correct. Yep.
And you still, even though you gave this person 287,000 cash out, they still remain 30% equity.
Oh yeah.
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 It's a good deal.
We could have gone higher, but they didn't like the rate. So there was a balancing act to be had, and they didn't really need more.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, if you know, if you're going to borrow 300 grand and you're only paying 6.75, if you could get a 9 to 12% return somewhere else, that's a good arbitrage. So they don't have cash sitting in as debt equity. I mean, the whole idea is to use your debt equity as an investment to sort of parlay that into more money, like as an arbitrage. It's a good move. All right. Anybody else?
How did they find that deal with you?
They're an active investor. They've done 15 to 20 deals. This one, I don't know how they found because it was just a few years ago. But, you know, they're pretty well known out there for off-market deals, so I'm sure someone brought it to them. Something interesting, actually, on this one, and this is not typical, we were able to close this in their personal name, and we can only do that on rentals.
That's interesting.
Yep. So that'll save them about $6,000 in transfer and rent costs. Absolutely, I would prefer that.
Yeah, they're all LLC, most of them. I've never heard of
that. Yeah.
Can you close it? Can you close it in trust without a lien? All my are industry trusts. They go into my revocable with interest.
Yeah, it would have to be revocable. Yeah, yeah. We can't do non-revocable. We could, irrevocable, but yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So the next section is what you guys are interested in, but I want to make one announcement before you guys leave. Gabby, raise your hand. You see Gabby over there? If you guys are interested and you want more information about becoming a student, please see Gabby at the end of the meeting. The next section, our last section, are any of you guys have any ad hoc deals that you want to present? Anybody have any deals they want to present that we didn't formally present? Raise your hand. Okay. No deals? Okay. That's fine. Any questions and answers to any of us or to any of the presenters that you want to get answered before we wrap up? All right, you guys good? All right, thank you for coming. We'll see you next time.